of 161st and River. And here we go. We are another episode in. We've got a good one here today. We are going to talk a bit about the Yankees and what's going on right now. There have been some updates over the past few days that I do want to discuss. We'll start with what Boone had to say today, and we'll go from there. And yeah, just vibe out a little bit on Monday night. Uh, there's no sports going on whatsoever. So we'll vibe for a bit, and then we'll get out of here. But I did want to start with what Boone had to say today, a little bit, one or two quotes from what Cashman had to say Friday. There's not too much to take away from what he had to say Friday. But what Boone had to say today, I did find interesting. So I guess that is where we shall start now that I've gotten pretty much everything to where I want it on platforms, etc. And here's where we'll begin. So Aaron Boone did meet the media today, um, gave some updates first. Actually pictured here, and we'll take this opportunity to talk about him a little bit. Carlos Lagrange, which is how he wants his name pronounced. They put out the clip. They send all this. So Carlos Lagrange. He will get the first start. That's Friday afternoon, 1:05 p.m. at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota, Florida. If anyone's down there, I am not. He made the start there actually last spring training for the spring breakout game. I think it was John Brophy. So shout out to him who made that connection on socials earlier today. But I definitely caught that, so I wanted to shout John out. He does a great job covering all the Yankees minor leagues. If you don't follow him, you're missing out. He's fantastic at what he does, covering the Yankees minor leagues and stuff like that. So shout out to John. He does a really, really good job. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Carlos Lagrange will get the first spring trading nod, I guess, as a starter. That's really, really good for the Yankees, I think. They are super high on him. I am super high on him. Aaron Judge was quoted today as saying he's going to be special. Judge took him deep, flew out to the track, and struck out in 3 plate appearances against Lagrange in live BP today. Aaron Boone had a lot of good things to say about him. Brian Cashman spoke on him and Elmer Rodriguez on Friday in his media availability and is quoted, obviously the rotation right now is set. Garrett Cole looks phenomenal. We'll talk about him at the end because I will put the video of his batting, of his bullpen from Friday up. But the rotation depth is set up really, really well right now that Elmer Rodriguez and Carlos Lagrange are blocked in the rotation, but they can be used in the bullpen if that's a necessity, which I think it would benefit the Yankees, actually. I wrote about that today specifically for Lagrange. I think keeping Elmer Rodriguez as a starter for depth purposes would be best for his future in the organization. I've seen the Betances compliments to Lagrange. Someone said Chase Burns today. I don't want to shoot for the stars. I kind of alluded to it. I didn't mention by name because I don't want to do that and hype people. But I named my story a certain way for a reason. And older Yankee fans or Yankee fans like me or Yankee people like me who love this organization and the history of it um, might know some calls from back in the day. And one of them, John Sterling, was famous for was here's the Yankee secret weapon to close a game, Mariano Rivera. So when I named my story today, Carlos Lagrange could be the Yankees' new secret weapon in the bullpen. I did that on purpose. I'm not saying he's going to be Mariano. I'm saying he's going to be really good. And like Mo, he does not know where the ball's going all the time, which, is a blessing and a curse at the same time. I would love for him to know all the time where the ball's going for ease purposes, but we don't know. He doesn't know. And I think he's going to be a really good pitcher. The underlying numbers are great on him. The scouts are high on him. I'm high on him. I wrote the story on him. He's blowing people away in BP today with over 100-mile-an-hour pitches. This kid's going to be really, really good. I don't know if he'll break camp. I wrote in my story that I think he should. If he performs well, spring training games are nothing. If he looks good in spring training, he should break camp with the team. And I don't think that should be too far-fetched. I think he should break camp with this team. If he looks good in spring training. I like Carlos Grande. The next update from Boone, Anthony Volpe has begun swinging a bat. Dry swinging. He has not faced pitches. He hasn't faced batting practice. He's still a long way off. He won't get into spring training games right away, but he has begun to face some pitching. That's good. Volpe continues to work his way back. Did pick up on some things with how he looks physically coming into camp. Could be related to the fact that he couldn't do much this offseason, but he didn't exactly look in his best physical shape in spring training. I shouldn't be one to talk, but I picked up on that with him. Speaking of physical shape, I picked up on that Trent Grisham and Giancarlo Stanton look phenomenal. Like, I know Boone was saying prior to Stanton pulling up to camp, like, oh, he's had a really good offseason. When Stanton pulled up and they posted the pictures, I think it was Sunday morning, he looked really slim. He looked really, really, really good. And same with Trent. I definitely noticed that he looked good. I said to my dad yesterday, I'm like, I showed him the pictures. I'm like, he looked like Mike. My dad's like, what? I'm like, when he came up with the Marlins, he first named himself Mike Stanton because Giancarlo Stanton he thought was too hard for people to pronounce. And going into the 2012 season, which for those who don't know, is when the Florida Marlins changed their name to the Miami Marlins and they moved to Lone Depot Park, or it was Marlins Park back then. He changed his name to Giancarlo, which is his real name. His full name is Giancarlo Cruz Michael Stanton. He looked really good. So that's a side note, but he looked good. Cam Schlittler will throw off a mound tomorrow. He told Meredith Marakovitz. It seemed like it was really nothing with his neck. With his back. I didn't even put a note in here for Ben Rice's neck tweak. He was already swinging, so it was a complete nothing burger. Ryan McMahon did not participate in the full squad workout today because he has flu-like symptoms, according to Boone. Stay away. Don't need anyone sick. I don't know if I mentioned it on here or not. I was sick all last week. I had strep throat when I came to you guys last Monday morning. I came on here and said I wasn't feeling great. I'm sorry if my voice is a bit hoarse. I went later that day to the doctor and had strep throat and couldn't speak for 3 days until I spoke to you guys on either Thursday or Friday. That was the first day I was actually able to get words out without needing to stop or needing to feel like screaming. It was really, really bad. So stay away from camp. Oswaldo Cabrera, this last update, will not get into spring action right away. He's still recovering from his ankle fracture. His status on the opening day roster remains a question. Boone was asked, pretty much dodged it right out of the chute, and I was like, that's interesting. And I don't think the Yankees are done this offseason yet. I don't. I think if they get, it might be like a Randall Grichuk type for the outfield, because it seems like Jason Dominguez is going to AAA, and we'll head there now. With this quote, Gary Phillips had it from Cash. Cashman said I would concede it's in his best interest to get everyday reps in AAA. People were crushing Cashman, crushing him. Well, they were crushing him on a couple things for this quote. I'm not going to sit here and be a Cashman apologist tonight. I defend him on this. It would be in the organization's best interest. Now, we all know, I think Jason's a major leaguer. There's nobody more of a fan of his than me. I want him to be the next superstar in this league. There's no one who is higher on him than me. He needs help hitting right-handed, and he needs help defensively. I would argue he needs more help defensively than hitting right-handed. And here's the thing. He has minor league options. He's 23. Trent Grisham's only on a 1-year deal. If he shows significant improvement in AAA, and we go into camp next year, obviously Jazz Chisholm's a free agent. They're gonna be more, unless they extend him, which I highly, highly doubt. They're gonna want to address the second base position over addressing the left field position. And for those saying Lombard, he's not ready. He will not be ready next year. He did not hit well in AA. He's going to need at least this full season in AA, unless he gets off to a tremendous start and they bump him up. And, Volpe's still on this team. For now, he's still on this team. Bo Bichette will be a free agent next year. We're not going to get into it. And as of now, Nico Hoerner will be a free agent. The Yankees have loved him for years. And there'll be some other guys on the market and what have you. But the Yankees are probably going to prioritize the infield over the outfield, where they have guys who can fill that position. Jason Dominguez from the left side of the plate is a more than confident major league hitter. The deficiencies in left field, and the Yankees, rightfully so, are prioritizing defense. We'll see if they were right giving Trent Grisham the qualifying offer. We'll see. I don't know. Only time will tell. If he goes out there and hits 35 bombs this year, bats 250, hits 35 homers, then no one can complain. And if they don't win in October and Trent does what he did last year, then people will complain. Well, here's a little secret. They don't get to October without the contributions Trent Grisham. Do you know how many big hits Trent Grisham had last year? They lose the series in Atlanta if it's not for him, where he had the grand slam off of Rysel in Game 2 in Atlanta, the comeback game. Probably one of the best games of the year. He hit the grand slam in Houston off Fromber that pretty much killed Fromber's market. That's another game they probably lose if it's not for the grand slam. Trent Grisham had some the Chicago grand slam as well. They lose some games if it wasn't for Trent this year. Oh, the other Houston game at the Stadium where he hit the home run on Old Timers Day. Another game they lose if it's not for Grisham. I can go down a list. Trent was a big part of why they made the playoffs last year. So I don't want to disparage him. I don't agree with giving the qualifying offer. But that doesn't mean I'm pissed that he's back. Because there's nothing against him. At the end of the day, the organization made a decision. Now, if the organization is saying we'll spend $22 million this year for Jason Dominguez to go down in AAA, practice hitting from the right side, and practice defense out in left field, and they're right, and then they let Grisham walk in the offseason, which they probably will, and Jason Dominguez takes over in spring training of 2027 or 28 at the rate we're going with the lockout, we'll see if they're right. That's still his age 25 season. If it's 28, that's still his age 25 season. He's young. Judge didn't come up and he didn't debut until that point. Spencer Jones, there's a little bit more urgency, and he's got no path. I mean, you'd have to have like multiple. It would be almost worst case scenario for this Yankee team to see him this year, because remember, Grisham's first up. Now, let's say Stanton goes on the IL and Trent's awful, then maybe we'll see him. That's really the only way, short of absolute pandemonium, which would be the injury to the right fielder. I don't even want to say it. I'm knocking on wood. I don't even want to say it. Or something with Bellinger or Ben Rice over at first base, and Bellinger, something short of something that will catastrophically affect the result of the season would have to happen for Spencer Jones to be up. And I think Jason Dominguez will get at bats, because I think Giancarlo Stanton will start the year. I also think they'll give him a month off in the middle of the season. Like, all right, he's got lat soreness. Let's give him the month of July off or something. And okay, Jason Dominguez, he's hitting through 30 in AAA. Let's bring him up. Boom, he has a Matt Carpenter-esque 2022 month. They send him right back down. Stanton's ready. Boom, home stretch. I could see them doing that. Jason Dominguez says that he feels good. He looks good. He looked like he worked out a lot this offseason. There's another player I'll get to in a bit at the end as well that I think this. Obviously, he hears all the noise, but he tries to focus on he tries not to focus on that because this is baseball. Spring training's coming. A lot of things can happen. At the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the team. He was hanging out. He's having fun with the team guys. They seem to have a lot of fun with him. He really, really likes Amed Rosario. That's a really good relationship. And Amed Rosario is such a great clubhouse guy for this team. That's a really, really underrated bring back. And people won't give it credit because it's $2.5 million. That's an asset for your team. And I wrote about it the day they signed him. He's an asset in so many different ways. Number one, what he does against left-handed pitching is phenomenal. What he does against what he does in the clubhouse is absolutely. So that's a great deal. So Aaron Judge met the media today for the first time since reporting, and he had a very interesting quote. And we could take this in two different directions, and we'll discuss it for a bit about the offseason. It was brutal. I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts. Let's sign these guys right now and start adding more pieces. I see other teams around the league getting better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players, and we're kind of sitting there waiting for a while, kind of making smaller moves. It was tough there in the beginning, but once we got solidified getting Bellinger back, we got Trent being our center fielder, being our leadoff guy another year. Caveat for a second. Boone needs to be asked if there's other options to lead off against right-handed pitching because Trent can't do it. He was horrible. Go look. I brought this up before. His splits out of the leadoff spot were horrific last year. They can't do that. Next. You add a guy like Goldie, so on the back end of the bullpen pieces that we've been doing, I think we'll be in a good spot. But early on, it was a pretty tough watch. I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces, and go out there and finish this thing off. We've got a special group of players here. We've got a good core, a good young core. It was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be right now. So that's twofold. Number one, he likes where they are now. I do too. I think we've seen guys in camp already that I turned my head. I mentioned LeGrand at the top. Ryan Weathers looks phenomenal. Luis Gil, he looks great this camp. He seems like he took this offseason very seriously. I really like what I've seen out of Gil. He seems healthy. He seems motivated this year. I'm excited to see Luis Gil because if you get 2024 first half Luis Gil, he would have gotten Cy Young votes if you hear that the whole year and possibly won it. He's that good. He has all the ability in the world to be that good. And I think Ryan Weathers would be the first to go to the bullpen. And I think he'd excel there because he looks really good. The offseason was boring. Frankly, it was. We all know it. They did what they wanted to do, what they had to do. Bring back Cody Bellinger. Everyone's like, they did nothing this offseason. Well, if they really wanted Kyle Tucker, they would have gone out and gotten Kyle Tucker. But guess what? They didn't want Kyle Tucker. That's it. If they wanted him, they would have gotten him. They didn't. They wanted Cody Bellinger because they know he can play in New York. There were questions about Kyle Tucker being able to handle New York. Obviously, it doesn't help when you look across the river and the Mets don't care about this and are, we'll sign him. Well, the Yankees don't think like that. For the Yankees, it's not how it works. You know, the whole big brother, little brother, the Yankees care about that stuff. They did what they needed to do this offseason, and they're in a position in 2026 to win a championship. And I think they can. It's going to be up to them. If they win in 2026, Brian Cashman is going to be revered. If they don't win in 2026, Brian Cashman is going to be killed. And that's just a fact. So here was Garrett Cole's live BP. This was Thursday, I believe. Just pull it up. He looked fantastic. Not BP. Oh, that's not his BP. Hold on. I have multiple different. Yep, here it is. Hold on. I don't know why these are both titled Cole. You have to fix that. All right, let's see.
It's like submarine. It's not working, but yeah. It doesn't work since you started going off speed.
All right, so that's pretty much. I mean, I guess that's enough. He hopped out at like 96. He was set between 94 and 96, which is phenomenal, given he's coming off a major surgery and his age. There should be optimism this camp. Now, first spring training game is Friday. We'll probably do an episode Thursday. Friday is only on the Gotham app. Saturday's the spring home opener. So Friday's going to be like a half squad. Saturday's more of the real deal. We'll go from there. I'm excited. I'm a little pumped. I'd like another reliever, but Carlos Legrand turned my head. They're going to be a very good team this year. They have the depth to withstand pretty much anything, but the unthinkable, which is Judge going down. And he said he's fully healthy and all that stuff. That's going to do it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Let's go Yankees. Let's get through the spring training healthy. So far, so good.